Summitt always liked to say, it is what it is, but it will be what you make it. Pat certainly made it. She made it easier for so many who followed in her footsteps. She made it with character, made it with respect, made it with discipline, made it with love. Now Pat Summitt has made it home. For more on the legendary career of Pat Summitt, Jill Jelnick is standing by in Chattanooga. Jill.
Thanks, Paul. Definitely a sad day for Vol fans, but also just for basketball fans for that matter. You know, looking back at her 38 years, there was nothing she couldn't accomplish at the University of Tennessee. We could go on and on about her awards and accolades, but besides her success on the basketball court, what also she was known for was what she did for the sport of basketball and how she did it, fighting to the end the Pat Summitt way. When Pat Summitt first stepped into Thompson Bowling Arena in 1974, there was no doubt she fit right in with the orange and white. Little did she know that her plans on the hardwood would lead to something bigger than UT itself. For 4 decades, Summitt was the backbone of a legacy, winning a combined 32 SEC titles, 22 trips to the NCAA tournament, 8 national championships, and a total of 1,098 wins, more than any Division I men's or women's basketball coach.
I learned from my parents about the work that we have to do and the work you must love to do. I have loved my work at the University of Tennessee.
From the eyes of the storm down to the last timeout, her coaching was the definition of electrifying and nothing short of emotional.
I don't know what you're going to do, but you better come out of this locker room with a big-time attitude.
But in August of 2011, Summitt was faced with her most difficult opponent, one she would spend the rest of her life trying to beat.
Together, we will win.
After being diagnosed with early onset dementia, Summitt passed down her whistle to her longtime assistant, Holly Warlick. And even though she was no longer in charge, the University of Tennessee appointed her head coach emeritus.
It's not going to keep me from living my life. It's not going to keep me from coaching.
As she did in most of her games, Coach broke out the full court press in her fight against Alzheimer's. Starting the Pat Summitt Foundation in 2011, Summitt went on to win the Arthur Ashe Courage Award and the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Pat says, I can fix a tractor, mow hay, plow a field, chop tobacco, fire a barn, and call the cows. But what I'm really known for is winning.
But what makes Pat Summitt among the most influential women in sports is not the numbers or the accolades. Instead, it was her relentless love for and belief in those around her.
I have been so blessed to have great people in my life. I'm going to keep on keeping on. I promise you that. Thank you.
Coming up tonight at 6, we'll hear from Hall of Fame coach Jim Foster, as well as others in the area on how they're remembering the legendary coach. Live at McKenzie Arena, Jill Jelnick, Channel 3 Eyewitness Sports.